What is the nature of an Amazon? We've been hunting together so long. For honor. For redemption. Connected as much by the blood in our veins as by the blood we shed. For an Amazon, yesterday's only a myth. And tomorrow is just a prophecy. Today is war. And we are the hunters!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Total War Live. We are here with the announcement of a Total War Saga Troy Amazons. We're finally here, and I have a new friend with me here today. We've got Victor. Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for having me, Blondie. It's all going great. Thanks for everyone for joining us on these last days of summer. I'm really honored that you guys prefer to stay in front of the PC for this instead of, enjoying being outside and stuff.
It's a perfect time for video games in these trying times, absolutely. So, today we're going to take a look at the new DLC that is coming out on September 24th. I want to remind everyone that it will be completely free as long as you link your Epic Games account with your Total War Access account before October 8th. Completely free, you don't have to pay for it. After that, it will no longer be free. So people who haven't claimed it already will have to buy it after that. But if you are watching this right now, head over to your Total War Access account, connect it to your Epic Games Store account, and there you go. You'll get it for free when it launches. It's fantastic. So if you're new here, which you might be, I know that there were a lot of people who came in new with the Total War Saga Troy, people who have never played Total War before, who haven't watched one of these streams before where we do the announces. We're not going to go into proper gameplay today. We're not going to do any battles. We're not going to click and turn, anything like that. Instead, we're going to take a look at everything that is new, that is coming up in this DLC today, but we're not actually playing the game. If you want to see gameplay, head over to youtube.com/totalwar tomorrow, where there is a Let's Play going live made by yours truly. Fantastic times for everyone. All right. David, sorry, I got confused with Three Kingdoms there from Victor.
Yeah, I watched that previous one as well, so
it's a good one. Victor, what are the Amazons all about? Who are they?
Right. That's the first question we asked. What do we want to do in our first DLC? And we settled on the Amazons because they are the most different. They are the most unique. They are their units are basically all female warriors, which for this period and for our setting, it is as different as it gets. We don't have elves, we cannot have robots, so an all female roster is as different as it could have been.
Absolutely.
So also the Amazons are such a big mystery. Everyone knows the word Amazons. I think most of you would agree. It's widely spread around us. Everyone has heard it in one context or another. But who are the Amazons? I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we wanted to explore it then.
Comic book or something.
Absolutely, they're very prevalent in popular culture, and but it's since it's happened so far in the past, really, how should I say, little is known about them. We've tried
Yes.
combing everything we could. We contacted professors, historians, archaeologists, all sort of people to help us identify who are actually the Amazons, because this is our hallmark feature for this setting for Troy, to discover the truth behind the myth. So we studied the Amazons. We tried to find what people agree, who they were, what most historians at least agree, because there are a lot of conflicting myths about them and historical records. So in our portrayal of the Amazons, they are a tribe of predominantly women warriors. There are men there, but they're more like servants. They're not allowed to take arms in most cases. So it's a matriarchy for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of the opposite of what you would consider a traditional society in that sense, where
Very much
normally
so.
the men would be the warriors and the women would stay home and take care of the home. Whereas in this case, it's the opposite, where the women are the warriors and the men stay at home. It's a very interesting type of setting.
Absolutely. To know the Amazons, you first need to know the Greeks, and the Amazons are just their opposition. They try to oppose everything the traditional society stood for, at least dominated by
Absolutely.
men society.
So there is a little bit of a backstory to the Amazons coming into the campaign here. If you're familiar with a certain quote-unquote Amazon in popular culture, you may be familiar with the Amazon capital of Themyscira. Now, we don't have Themyscira in the game, as far as I've seen at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
what-
farthest to the east. Yeah.
Yeah. So what has happened there? What has happened prior to the beginning of the campaigns when you start as an Amazon?
So in our take again of the Amazons, they originate from Themyscira, the city around Thermodon River. So this is where they settled eventually. We think the Amazons, it was very likely to have been originated from the island Lemnos, but eventually they were driven out. Some say 1,000 years ago, before the start of the actual Trojan War. So they settled in a city, Themyscira, and from there they warred with actually King Priam in his youth. 40 years ago, say, or one generation ago. They used to war, but eventually became friends at the end. This is what the myths tell us. So now that the Trojan War starts proper, the Amazons are coming to aid King Priam to honor their pact with him. So they have their own reasons. Actually, we could say they could be neutral very much in the game, but initially, at least, they start on the side of Priam. So
Yes.
they come, the two queens come for their own reasons, and we'll try to help the war effort of the Trojans.
There are many different differences between our two Amazon playable heroes here. We've of course got Hippolyta, High Queen of the Amazons, and her sister Penthesilea, the Warrior Queen of the Amazons. Let's jump into a save. I have a few of them here. Let's load into turn 30 in this save that it's actually the one I'm using for the Let's Play.
All right.
But yeah, so in the game, the Amazon society is sort of splintered and are now following either Queen Hippolyta or Penthesilea. Nephian says, show Horde campaign. We will. We're going to start on Hippolyta because I've unlocked most on this, so we can.
And she's
show
a bit
off.
more straightforward as a faction.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree with that choice.
Yeah, so she starts somewhere around here. You may see her capital here.
Yeah,
In Anthea.
closer to Lycia, according to records, to historical records. Yeah.
Yes. Now, I think the biggest difference if you're playing an Amazon campaign is in the way they do recruitment, which it ties into the initiation rites mechanic. Now, Victor, what is initiation rites? What's different about this?
Yes. for us, the team behind the Amazon, this is one of the favorite thing, about this whole DLC. The way Amazons recruit and upgrade their units. We've always toyed with the idea of unit upgrades in previous games. We loved how in Rome 2 you could upgrade your units, but we thought it was just very limited in that version. So we wanted to expand upon it and have players really care about their units, not just having them become obsolete as stronger troops come around and you advance technologically and equip them better. So we wanted to preserve this, and we realized this through this mechanics, initiation rites, which is also a mechanic that is shared between the two Amazon factions. So it's really proper to start from here to understand who the Amazons really are and how they play in the game. This is their actually. The two factions are really one people in the sense that they used to be together just say, I don't know, 2 years ago or a few months ago even, and they just split so they could arrive for different reasons at different places. But yeah, they are basically the same people. Penthesilea is leading the more hot-headed, eager warriors who need to prove themselves on a crusade to fight men and prove themselves before the gods. And Hippolyta here is the more calm and collected and really experienced ruler, because she's older than Penthesilea by a good margin. She used to be, in her prime with the previous generations of heroes like Hercules and Theseus and people like that. So she has a legendary status. And so, I'm sorry, I sidetracked a little. The initiation rites mechanic says the following: as Amazons, you only recruit directly your basic troops, like female warriors in their early years who have just begun their training. They're armed with a simple spear or a simple sword, maybe a shield, maybe a bow and arrows if you're lucky. And the basic units are mostly shared between the two factions. There are a few examples to stress out the difference in the two how should I say, the two rosters, the two philosophies, if you want, toward that the two queens have. But most of their basic units are shared because they're really the backbone and just the idea of different weaponry to the same untrained warrior. From that point, you participate in battle with those women. They need to participate to actually prove themselves and become stronger warriors. You, as a queen, you'll be able to say who gets to be promoted to further training and to better equipment down the line. So you need experience for the unit. This is signifying them.
Oh, we lost.
Click.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry. If you click on the button, you'll be able to see the available upgrades. They're grayed out at the moment because I'm not sure, you either don't have the experience, the resources, or you haven't unlocked the particular upgrade yet.
Yeah.
But this is just an example of what the progression of units is. I hope to say. I mean, I'd like to say. I hope it is like what you would expect from such a mechanic. Like you have a basic footman soldier with a spear, and then you could upgrade them into a more trained foot soldier with a spear, or maybe give them a horse so they become follow some sort of internal logic in how they advance. Archer becomes archers on chariots, archers on horses. So you could see at the bottom row are the basic troops, the one you could recruit directly. Just open your army and maybe build a basic building and buy them right away. And the top rows are actually the upgrades. This is just like a map of the possible upgrades that we are seeing at the moment on screen.
Yes, so we can see here furthest to the left, we have the Amazon Initiates, and as you build buildings and unlock various initiation rights, because they are not all available to you immediately, you have to unlock them as you go. You can see that we could either upgrade this our initiates into this spear and shield heavy unit, or we could go into this spear and shield medium unit, which we then could upgrade into a cavalry unit. Which is also something that's unique to the Amazons. They can get access to cavalry without using centaurs.
Absolutely, they have them in their rosters. Also, you will notice that some of the units seem to have like dead ends.
Yes.
Some units could be upgraded all the way to level 3. while others stop at level 2. This is intentional, and actually the level 2 units are special in some way when they end at level 2. So it's not like a net loss to just not get them. They just fulfill a more specialized role on the battlefield.
Indeed.
And of course, if you have the same basic unit, you could choose different units to be upgraded into different later units. So mix and match as you want.
In the Let's Play, I end up upgrading this type of unit. I'm not gonna mouse over anything because one, I want to leave a little bit of a surprise for the for the Let's Play, but also of course we have a lot of great partnered influencers, streamers, YouTubers, and so on that are going to be able to show you a lot of the detail and give their honest opinions on what they think about this. And I want to make sure that they have something. So you should definitely go check that out when they release their stuff over the next coming week. Because of course the game, the DLC is coming out in a week, which is insane to me.
Can't wait.
Yeah, me neither. I've had a ton of fun with I think this initiation right system is really fun, and it forces me to play the game in a very different way because, as you mentioned earlier, you have to rank up a unit to be able to upgrade them. That means that if you lose a unit before they've ranked up, or if you lose a unit, you will have to recruit a new base unit and rank them up. And if you lose a level 3 unit, like one of these people, maybe a horse person, or this one with the shield and sword, you're gonna have to start all the way over here. It's it's
you're correct.
So because if you watch the streams, you know that my motto is that a Pyrrhic victory or a Cadmean victory, as in the case of Troy, is still a victory. With the Amazons,
good catch,
absolutely
sir.
not. So you really have to take into account, all right, I really don't want to lose this unit because getting it back would be a massive pain, which forces me at least to have units retreat, switch out for more with more units with health in battle, which forces a tactical response in me at least. I can't go for the Cadmean victory because that would be devastating to my entire faction.
To honestly, there are ways to mitigate your early losses or an accidental loss of unit here and there.
Yeah.
All the other faction mechanics surrounding the Amazons try to help with that particular issue. We knew there would be more hungry for experience, for troop experience, so we given them complementary mechanics that help them gain experience faster or just start on the when you recruit them their higher rank. So yeah. You will get to that, I'm sure, but just wanted to mention that right away.
No, it's a very good point, and I can show that off here. So in this campaign on Hippolyta, through the skill tree, I've picked up a skill that allows me to start off new recruits immediately at rank 1. So you can see there's this icon here for unit rank 1. So you recruit them at rank 1 if you pick the skill. Of course, that is optional. You can play the game however you want. There are also buildings that assist in this. So certain buildings will also give additional rank ups when you recruit units in that province or in that area, which means that you can speed up that. But it's still it can still be a quite devastating loss to lose some units, and I really enjoyed having to think differently about how I did battles instead of just going, here are my units, go.
Well, the Amazons were dear to us while we were making them. I hope their units are dear to the player as well,
Yeah.
To the player.
So let's talk about Hippolyta's unique mechanic. I saw some people in chat noticing that there's a new resource. This one is unique to Hippolyta. She's the only one that has it, which is Amazon Treasures. And you can use Amazon Treasures in various ways. Go check out the Let's Play tomorrow on youtube.com/totalwar if you want to see one example of that. But we have the Amazon Kingdom as her other unique mechanic, which encompasses that. So what is the Amazon Kingdom?
So the Amazon Kingdoms, let me start with the gameplay because that's what people were here for. Actually, gameplay wise, it's a universal mechanic, global for the faction, not universal, just global, and it allows you to use different powers. So let's say different abilities, different actions, to help you with various endeavors in your whole kingdom. You unlock them in order from left to right. You need to have reached a certain amount of Amazon treasures to be able to unlock them. You don't spend those Amazon treasures here. You just need to have them. This is sort of to limit the progression to that certain high level powers only become available later on as your kingdom expands. So,
for example, we can see here that I have currently 285 Amazon treasures because I've spent some, but I've gathered in total 476, which is what counts towards these. Like this one requires 180, this one 600, 1200, 2000, etc.
Correct. So you actually spend the Amazon treasures themselves for those special actions that those milestones here unlock. Once you unlock them, you have them in your available for your faction for this playthrough, but you still need to expend Amazon treasures every time you use them. Yes. It's more complicated explaining that it is. Once you unlock them, you could use them anytime you want, provided you have the special resources. And the special resources are gathered by simply holding certain settlements that Hippolyta, finds important. Those were basically those were the settlements that are called sacred in our game. Those were where the ancestors from those lands a long time ago. Yes. They're mostly coastal settlements. There are plenty of references of settlements around DNC that are mentioned to have been from Amazon origin, and we wanted to portray this in the game. This is Hippolyta reclaiming her ancestral, lands. And this helps them find who they are as Amazons, come together as a culture, as a nation, and hopefully develop an actual Amazon kingdom, which never happened in history. But this is what Hippolyta fights in our game. We want those Amazons to be able to build a future for themselves, survive, to actually have a civilization, which never happened. But this is the fantasy here.
I see someone pointing out in chat that it should be queendom instead of kingdom. I think the reason we're going with kingdom is because it's an established term. Everyone knows what a kingdom is. If you say queendom, it might take people a while to figure out what you're talking about. So it's more about making sure that people understand what we're talking about rather than. So sometimes the flair works against you. Let's
That's an interesting point. I enjoyed hearing you talk about this. Actually, thank you for the question.
It's it's something that I have to in my line of work. I have to keep in mind things like that. I write scripts and so whatever, and you have to make things clear. So sometimes you use some terms, and sometimes I actually use the term queendom in the Let's Play. That's not something I just came up with. You can hear it tomorrow because it's already been recorded and it's done. I use queendom in the Let's Play at some point just because it felt better for the flair. But when you have something like a game mechanic, you want to make sure that it's very clear and that the player understands it, because otherwise it becomes annoying. Right, so that's Hippolyta. Do you have anything more you want to say about Hippolyta?
Yeah, just a brief rundown of those special powers that you unlock with the establishment of the Amazon kingdom. So you go through various milestones. Sorry, you wanted to
go ahead. I'll say my bit at the end.
Could you open the screen again for me to talk over it? Yeah. So as you see, you first reclaim your heritage. This is your first step. You come back to your to your ancient sites. You find out who you are. Then you gain some enlightenment. You start developing say a writing system or a common Amazon language, really, because they're from mixed origins anyway. And then eventually you start becoming one people and fighting for this. Well, Hippolyta is not necessarily for female-only kingdom, because this could not last. She understands that. She's more fighting towards equality. She just wants women to have a equal footing with men, if anything. And she realizes she cannot survive without allies and just being hardly against everything any other in the world stands for. So this won't last. And eventually you build your own legacy down the road. So the powers that are available to you, for example, instant level up for heroes. If you spend the resources, instant
let's
level
make
up for
sure
units.
let's make sure we don't tell all of them, just so we have something to show in the future.
Oh, good point. Good point. Right, I was
But yeah, let's we can talk about
let's
the
start,
first
let's stop
one.
with those two.
Yeah. So the first one, so that instant level ups at the cost of Amazon treasures. I can demonstrate that now.
Yeah, please do.
So we have our Amazon chargers here, which are at unit rank 3. I can go into this here and instantly rank them up to rank 4 for the cost of Amazon treasures. And of course, the more settlements you have that produce Amazon treasures, the more you can do these actions. So it's sort of, you can really speed things up the bigger you are. So, by end game, when you're fighting against your antagonist, you might be producing enough Amazon's treasures that you can recruit a completely new army and still level them up quite quickly to a decent rank with all the various bonuses that you can get.
This is just an example of those are all global powers. Those Amazon Kingdom milestones.
Speaking of global, you can do this anywhere on the map. You can level up and you can do the initiation rites anywhere on the map. You don't have to be in a province where you have a military building, which is I think also very interesting, because normally when I play Total War, at least, maybe people play them differently, but I would have certain settlements where I build military units, because that's where I have all the buildings, so I can recruit everything, and I keep that one province to having all the military buildings, just so I can focus on getting resources, everywhere else, and then maybe I move that around, rebuild my buildings. Here you can have a static place. Of course, when you recruit new units, that's probably going to be where you want to be, just to get those instant rank ups, but you can do the initiation rites anywhere, which is, I find, very powerful and very nice, and more than makes up for the fact that you can't recruit the higher level units.
In that sense, Hippolyta's playstyle on the map itself, I would say, is tall rather than wide, because she's incentivized to hold really those ancient sacred settlements and sacred sites that you see them, by this icon with the Amazon treasure in it. So you'd rather have few settlements that provide this resource than just paint the map the way it is with regular factions.
Yes, and I saw someone asking about mythological units. The Amazons still have access to those. So if you capture a settlement with giants, you can still recruit giants. That works the same as in other campaigns. You are not locked into only using the Amazon units. You can also get those mythological units.
Just not the mythological men, just lost.
Right, so is that it? Should we hop over to Penthesilea?
Let's go.
Right, so let's load there. Let's see. So this one, I'm gonna... This save might be a little bit wonky. I'm gonna warn you right now. I was playing around between versions on this one. So I also want to say that this is still a... Nope, it looks fine. Good. I also want to say that this is still somewhat in development. We are still, of course, always working on the games. And this is not necessarily how everything will be when it comes to numbers and so on in the final version. Right, so here we have Penthesilea. What is special about her? Why is she different from Hippolyta?
I love the night sky. I just want to say that
Yeah,
the skybox in Troy is just so
beautiful,
sweet to look at, especially you haven't seen it for a few hours or so. So Penthesilea, she is the warrior queen of the Amazons, while Hippolyta is the high queen. So think of Hippolyta more like, I don't know, internal affairs and government and rule as a whole. While Penthesilea is more of a fighter. She is really just the leader of the fighters. And her army represents a warrior cult of Ares in a sense. She's really, obsessed with fighting, and her people, her faction is a horde. This is our take on the horde mechanic. We've done a few, I would like to say, significant, changes to the formula of hordes. But that's the idea. You don't hold settlements. You just roam the map, fight with people, prove yourself in front of the gods. So yeah. Now, her most defining feature is, again, no settlements. You see, she starts by herself with her army.
So we have no settlements. If we were to attack this settlement, which we're not gonna, we would not have the option to occupy them. We would only have the option to raise. But if we look at, there's a new icon here on Procrastis, which we've never seen before.
Raising the settlement will add Siren units to our special recruitment. The economy and the territorial conquest of horde factions in our game is very different, because you don't produce resources on your own. You're on the move. You take resources from settlements that you go, and you could really see what each settlement has as a special bonus that your scouts have discovered for you beforehand, that you will get extra if you attack that settlement. For example, Blondie is currently hovering over a food bonus. You could take this settlement, and you get, in addition to what raising a settlement normally would give the faction, this particular settlement will give that bonus. For example, the one in you pronounce that
Procrastis? I don't know. It's all Greek to me, man.
Yeah. So
sorry.
That settlement provides Siren units, access to Siren units. So they live there apparently, and you go there, you raise the settlements, and you convince some of them to come follow you. You still need to hire them, but this is how they get access. They cannot build the buildings for mythological units, so they get everything by fighting.
Yeah.
That sounds weird.
It's a very offensive focused campaign. I find it, I found it really interesting to play. Of course, even losing can be even more devastating when you only have the one army, and if you lose, you die. You die in the game. You die. No, okay. So it's very different to playing the normal settled factions in that sense. Let's talk about, so other than being a horde, she of course has the initiation rights, same as Hippolyta, but she does not have access to the Amazon Kingdom, as we can see up here. What are the unique mechanics we're looking at here for Penthesilea?
Right. Well, just a second. So I could see on the screen, because there is my portrait over there. I'm sorry.
Oh,
just
sorry.
click on the war just click on the war spoils mechanic.
All right. So
This is just a browser here. This particular screen. You don't do the actions here. This is just a collection of all the possible war spoils. This is the bonuses you get from raising settlements. If you click on an icon here, you'll be taken to the nearest settlement with that particular war spoil. So you could plan your movement across the map, and it really it's the war spoils that drive your direction across the map more so than anything else. When you play a horde faction, you're supposed to travel great distance by waiting for happiness to build up and for you to consolidate power over the region. You can go as fast as you want, and you're supposed to, because you will need those resources to stay in the game. You cannot rely on sedentary lifestyle and grow resources yourself. You need to take them, and once you take a settlement, once you raise it, it will be a while before the bonus sort of responds, and you could go back there. So you'd really need to plan a course across the campaign map. And I really would like to see videos of people experimenting with different routes, and maybe sharing like recipes, like really what succession should I take the settlements in for the first turn for me to be most successful, or if I want to go for a particular build, maybe particular unit strategy or something, which settlements do I need to take in what order to get there? And I hope players think ahead and see. For example, there are religious bonuses. They cannot build temples, So they just destroy settlements that certain gods find for one reason or another that needs punishment, or
Yeah,
they have wronged them, they have slighted them. Well, nobody really wrongs the gods. They're not that stupid in the era. Pretty much every person at that time was believing in the gods, but still, if you've wronged them somehow.
Talking about how
The-
it takes a while before a settlement gets another bonus added to it. In my campaign here, I'm on turn 14. I played very slow in this one. I've already raised both of these settlements. They were completely destroyed, and then these guys, the Thrakes, went in and settled them. But you can see that raising these settlements wouldn't give us any additional bonuses. It would just
Nope.
give the normal racing rewards, but that may come back in the future if we leave them alone long enough to build up stocks of
Maybe once or twice per campaign.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be running out of places to race, really. You're not supposed to just claim a portion of the map and just run circles and raising the same settlements.
By
They
the
need
time
time
you've
to
raised
recover.
every single settlement in the game, you should have achieved a Homeric victory at least, if not the total war victory.
Absolutely.
Right. Then
Should we
let's
go
talk.
to the other?
Yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
about Blood Oath.
Blood Oath. Well, first, this ties a bit to the initiation rites mechanic. Actually, in the myths, for an Amazon warrior to be actually recognized as an Amazon warrior, they needed to kill 3 men before they could even
Oh,
be
really?
called Amazons. So that's really something that shows how fierce they were and
Oh, yeah.
aggressive and brutal. And the Blood Oath is a well-known tradition that allows to signify their bond together. It happens in times of turmoil, and it allows a leader to really call an action. Like they say, we're striking a blood oath to do this in particular. So how this mechanic works in the game, because you're a horde army, the Amazon hordes cannot reinforce each other. They're too proud. They all want to earn their own place in the eyes of their father, their mythological father Ares. So they want to really gain fame on their own. And for this reason, you cannot actually, when you get to a walled settlement with a lot of garrison and another commander station there, it'd be hard with just one army to take it down. So for this reason, you have these blood oaths available to you. As you play throughout the campaign, on the campaign map, you could gain the unique resource here, Battle Glory, for each army. Each army accumulates its own battle glory, but you also have a faction-wide battle glory, which is the sum of all the battle glories of different armies. And once you have enough battle glory as a faction, you could upgrade stronger blood oaths. But here they are. You can, for example, upgrade your first one, Blood Oath Honor, and it will be replaced with another one that is stronger, a stronger version. So how does it work? When an army fights, it accumulates battle glory. There are various choices that can help you gain less or more, depending on what option you choose to do with the captives after battle and other such tools to manage your battle glory. But the idea is that once you have enough battle glory, you could call this Blood Oath, and it will give you a really short-lived amount of additional units. For like a turn or two, you have access to really powerful Bloodsworn units. The reason for this is that we don't want to just give you free units as you build up battle glory. We just want you to be able to overcome hard obstacles in your path. For example, when you get to a faction capital or a really strong army that you don't have normally the means to, you could always rely on this accumulated battle glory to help you, give you this extra oomph to tackle a larger army. I would say one Bloodsworn unit is equal, 3, 4 normal units, and you get, depending on how much battle glory you have, you get a different number of Bloodsworn units. And depending on what blood oath you have, it will affect the quality of those units. I won't spoil them all. I'll let players find out who are the strongest wars. But I would say the Penthesilea definitely is the only faction that has access to tier 4 units this way. So
and it's also worth mentioning that with the Blood Oath, you can actually temporarily exceed the 20 units per army limit.
That's correct.
which makes up for that you can't reinforce a horde with another horde. Um,
Hmm.
so
A
yeah,
full battle glory bar will give you the maximum amount of Bloodstone units, and there should be the equivalent of a second army along
which
your
is
main one.
fantastic.
Mhm.
So you can the more you fight, the stronger you can get. Of course, with the same issue as Hippolyta, losing units can be devastating because you have to train them up from the ground again. If you have to recruit them new. For example, here you can see that I don't have the bonus to recruitment, so I would start them off at rank 0 here. And actually, in this campaign, I think I did then an ill-advised auto-resolve, which lost me like half my army here. So you can see that a fair amount of them, I don't even have any ranks on them at all. Um, yeah, so that's Penthesilea. Do you have anything more to say about her, or
Yeah, I
are
would
we done
say
there?
her faction lends itself to the most unorthodox strategy, I would say, in Troy. One reason being a horde faction, and you could play very differently depending on how much you choose to associate yourself. Develop the blood oath and the battle glory, and how much you rely on more traditional. Get resources, build up your army slowly. You could one proper playstyle should be just doing battle after battle, only getting the battle glory options, summoning units, using them for tough fights, and just do this constantly, accumulate battle glory. The other
Mm,
option would be a more steadier but permanent approach, and the game is designed that you need to mix and match both. It's not just you take one route and just finish the game this way. You're supposed to think about this. And vision is really really crucial for the Amazons,
yes.
for Penthesilea in particular, because A, you need to know what war spoils settlements have, and B, just exactly as you mentioned, Bloody, it's really detrimental if you lose an entire army thanks to an enemy raid from the fog of war or something. So don't get yourself cornered. This is just an advice from me. Get as much vision as you can. Use scouts, use agents, use secondary armies to scout ahead, and so you have time to prepare. You'd need to build up some battle glory to be able to summon those
Mm,
extra units that you need to fight hard opponents. So, but for this you need information, and there are tools for this. And hope our
fantastic.
industrious players will find them.
Yeah. All right. Should we
That's
move into a little bit of see if there are any good questions in the chat? Let's see.
please
So,
do.
so Pikachu 92 asks, "Is there a release date yet?" And there is.
Uh,
You
Blondie,
remember?
you just mentioned it.
September
Are,
24th,
are,
in a
are you
week.
asking me? Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
okay.
Look, it's a team game here. All right. You and I are on the same team. It's
I thought
it's
you were asking the chat and giving them the opportunity to correct me.
no, no, no.
Fair enough.
Of course, chat, ask your questions. We are monitoring chat on both YouTube and Twitch. Um, does Hippolyta have a horse?
Uh, eh, she certainly has mount options, and I'll let
Yeah,
you discover what they are.
yeah,
Both
yeah,
characters
exactly.
have. Hmm.
Um, yeah, there are of course same as the campaign. There
Yes.
are mounts, but they but they may have some unique mounts available to them as Amazons. Um, let's see.
Absolutely.
Uh, let's see. Do the Amazons have the same agents available to them? Spies.
Uh, Absolutely, with a few differences. The Horde faction has some different uses of some of their abilities because they have no use for standard things like happiness, for example.
Hmm.
So they use them a bit more differently. But yes,
Yeah.
they both factions have access to all agents, including epic agents, if you get if you get your cult level high enough.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Can we see the unit upgrade trees for this faction?
Yeah,
Yeah,
please
here it
do.
is.
You see,
It is.
it's different in structure.
Yeah.
Uh, a good amount of the portion of the units are unique to both factions, to
Mhm.
either faction. I mean, I could talk a bit about the two rosters. Penthesilea is a bit more about javelins and shock units in general, just like fast, hard-hitting units, while Hippolyta is more about archers and a front line. Her front line is still not as good as like mainstay, Greek
Hector.
heavy armor or Hector. Yeah, absolutely Hector. Tier 3 units are notoriously, well protected. But yeah, so there are different playstyles in the rosters themselves. They both have access to horse units, to mounted units, right into their into their faction. But one faction leans more closely towards ranged combat, and as a whole, they're not as tough. The Amazons are more fast, and they rely more on tactics and special abilities to gain the edge, not on raw strength and armor.
We can see here that Penthesilea.
From male equivalents.
We can see here that Penthesilea has only one type of heavy units available to her, which is a heavy cavalry, whereas
very observant. Thank you.
Yeah. Whereas Hippolyta had at least two. I don't have a photographic memory, so I don't remember her initiation rites exactly, but she has at least two, both of which are infantry.
Yes.
Let's see. Are there any other questions? Let's see. No, there will not be a free LC Legendary Lord alongside the Amazons.
They are free themselves for a limited time.
Exactly. They are the free LC, I guess. Head over to Total War Access, log into your account, and then you go into My Account. There should be a button that says Connect to Epic Game Store. You connect your account to the Epic Game Store account, you get the DLC for free, you get to keep it forever, as long as you connect your account before October 8th. So you have 2 weeks after it releases next week to connect your account. So I had someone ask me yesterday. It was like, "Oh, I really want to know when this is coming out." I knew we were going to be announcing, the next day. I really want to make sure I don't miss this because I'm away from my computer or something for an entire day. You don't have to worry about that. You have 2 weeks to claim this.
Please do. I'd love to hear your opinions on the horde mechanics, on on the rosters. The Amazons were such an experiment for us as a team.
Yeah.
I'm looking for any impressions and feedback, you guys.
Players of Total War Warhammer 2 will be well familiar with the Horde Lords, and it's going to be interesting to see what people think about Penthesilea compared to, say, Nakai the Wanderer in Warhammer 2, and see how people compare them and what their
or
opinions.
Archean or Beastman. The other Total War hordes.
I'm sure people are gonna say, there are things about Penthesilea that they really like, that they wish were in those other horde factions, and I'm sure they're gonna find something that they're missing from the other ones.
There couldn't be a better compliment, guys, because we are all in friendly competition between the teams. So if you say something like this in the forums, we keep notes and share to each other and.
Yeah, we do read the forums. I know a lot of people think that the forums is just some void where they are unheard. Absolutely not. We keep track of all of our socials, including the forums. The forums are very dear to us. All right, chat. Any more questions? I'm not going to take any questions on future content or DLC because we'll talk about that when it comes to that. I'm sure at some point there's going to be maybe like a blog or something about the future of Troy. But for now, actually there is a roadmap for Troy, and we have said that Ajax is coming. Oh my God, what's the name of the god? We've also said the name of the god is coming.
Just a second, so I don't confuse them and spoil something out.
Yeah, I think it's
Which
Hermes.
one have we announced? No, it's not Hermes. It couldn't be.
It's not? Maybe
I'm trying not to say it because if it's not that, we would spoil it.
It was in the July devlog. Nemesis. Nemesis is not a Greek god. Let's go to totalwar.com. Let's see.
I wonder which one.
This is not great. I've disconnected my mouse from this PC and I can't head over to the July dev blog on totalwar.com. You can see a roadmap for Troy. Of course, that is what 2 months old now, so things may have slight tweaks to it, but you can see what future content we're planning to put out. Oh, Nemesis is a god, a Greek god? I didn't know that. Artemis. Is it Artemis?
Artemis. Can I talk about Artemis? Do
Yes.
I show the right?
Well, no, you can't talk about Artemis. We can just
God
say.
damn it.
Yes, Artemis
Okay.
was the one I think we said in the dev blog. I don't remember, man. It could be any Greek god. There were a lot of them. Anyway,
There were.
I think we've spent enough time talking about various things here. I hope everyone is really excited for a Total War Saga Troy and its upcoming DLC here. Make sure that you pick it up before October 8th. It'll be free as long as you connect your account. And this has been great. I've had a lot of fun today. Thank you for joining me, Victor.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Blondie. If you allow me, just a last sentence.
Absolutely.
Do we
No,
have time?
you may not speak.
Yeah.
Of course, go ahead.
Thanks. Yeah. First, thanks everyone for playing Troy. I hope you like the Amazons. I just want to read the first sentence that was like in the Wikipedia page. That's brought me on board. And when people ask me why do we do the Amazons, just listen to this. This is the first sentence. The Amazons were the daughters of Ares and Harmonia. They were brutal and aggressive, and their main concern in life was war. I mean, is this Total War material to you? I mean,
that is Total War. That's
So,
yeah.
So it was the Amazons, and here they are.
That
everyone.
inspired all about the Amazons. All right. Thank you all for watching. Thank you, Victor, for coming. And we will be back next week on Wednesday with another stream. Head over to youtube.com/totalwar. Hit that subscribe button so you're notified when the Let's Play comes out tomorrow. And of course, check out all of our Total War partners putting out content over the next week. Oh, you got a cat in the stream. I think that's the first cat, at least since I joined a year ago.
This cannot be. I figured everyone would have one popping on screen with this work from home situation.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Milcho has any pets, so whatever. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
You get to meet them all eventually. Thanks.
Bye.